My next patron question is from Joey, who wants me to compare two animation directors who put their own touch on a popular character. Which Donald Duck director do you think is better, Jack King or Jack Hanna? They're both the primary directors of the Donald Duck series, with King directing 48 episodes and Hanna directing 51 episodes in the series. For those unfamiliar with the output of these two directors, Jack King directed a bunch of Donald cartoons from the late 30s to the late 40s before retiring. Jack Hanna would start directing the shorts in 1944 and did so until the mid-50s, after which he moved over to Walter Lantz Productions. Both directors showed a lot of skill of how they handled the character and the various gags relate to him, and their work also reflected the time period these shorts were made in. Jack King, for example, directed a lot of the Donald Duck wartime cartoons. These found clever ways of placing Donald in military situations, and they also did the job of boosting morale for soldiers. One notable short King directed during this period was The Spirit of 43, which was about the importance of paying your taxes to help in the war effort, and even featured an early version of Scrooge McDuck before he became known by that name. Surprisingly, King did not direct Donald's most well-known World War II cartoon, To Fear His Face. That was directed by Jack Kinney. King was also instrumental in the early development of Huey, Dewey, and Louie, including directing their first animated appearance in Donald's Nephews. Cartoons like that one, Good Scouts, and Donald's Crime would further strengthen the relationship between Donald and his nephews. A number of King's Donald cartoons also had him interact with animals as well as the modern world, along with showing Donald wrestle with his conscience at times. While certainly not the first director in charge of Donald's cartoons, King deserves some credit for helping flesh out his personality even more. The Disney characters will get more domesticated following the war, and that's when we see more of Jack Hanna's influence. He also had a particular fondness for putting Donald out in the wilderness, and will pair him up with a few notable adversaries. Two of them were Chip and Dale. Those two chipmunks previously appeared in a couple of Pluto cartoons, including the Hanna-directed Squatter's Rights, but their personalities truly start to take shape when going head-to-head with Donald, and it was often amusing seeing them mess with him. The other one was Humphrey the Bear, with Hanna directing all the shorts that paired him and Donald. I've always had a soft spot for Humphrey, and the idea of Donald dealing with a hungry park bear, as well as the ranger, led to many funny gags. Hanna directed a couple of cartoons with Huey, Dewey, and Louie as well, the most famous of which is Trick or Treat. This short has become a Disney Halloween classic and really captures the spirit of the day with a witch who messes with Donald for the way he tries to ruin his nephew's Halloween. Jack Hanna also directed a notable cartoon in Disney's history, Working for Peanuts. It was released in 3D when that trend was going on in the 50s, with the 3D primarily used for gags involving peanuts and an elephant. While other 3D films were big on obvious gimmicks like shoving things at the camera, watching Working for Peanuts in 2D does not lessen the experience, and it avoided distracting sights like other 3D movies were prone to. You may have noticed I've not yet said whether I prefer the Donald Duck cartoons directed by Jack King or Jack Hanna, and truth be told, I'm actually having difficulty picking a preference between the two, as they both succeeded at utilizing Donald in their own way. Jack King helped develop his personality further and showed a particular strength in finding humor out of his participation in World War II. Meanwhile, Jack Hanna knew how to adapt into certain settings and create comical rivalries with other characters. They showed great skill at timing the animated gags and taking advantage of what this duck could do physically. They also knew the right time to unleash Donald's trademark temper. To be honest, Donald Duck is not a character where I think a particular era is better than the other, as he has proven a fun comic character throughout the entire history of his existence, and multiple directors have used him well, whether in shorts or on television. So for the first time since I've been doing Which is Better videos, I'm not going to make a choice. Instead, I'm going to celebrate that directors like Jack King, Jack Hanna, Jack Kinney, Hamilton Luske, and others were able to turn Donald Duck into one of the world's best cartoon characters. Thank you for your question, Joey.